You're listening to the Comenian's Feature 5. I'm your host, Lola Offenback, and today we'll be recapping the top 5 stories of this edition. During the month of February, Moravian's Counseling and Psychological Services Department ran its first Red Flag campaign. This campaign raises awareness of red flags and warning signs of abuse in relationships. Rosemary Williams, Director of Operations and Outreach, spearheaded the campaign. The CAPS office held tabling events in PPHAC on February 20th and 26th with Peers in Wellness, or PAWS, students to facilitate discussions and distribute informational materials to students. At the table, students wrote signs of unhealthy and abusive relationships on red lawn flags that were displayed near the 1742 splotch, along with a sign that read, "When you see a red flag in a relationship, say something." This served as a visual cue for students who were able to see the flags and the sign and started to get them thinking about different signs of healthy and unhealthy relationships. While students wrote on the flags, they talked with students and staff at the table about the signs of unhealthy relationships and what to do if they or someone they knew is with a partner displaying these signs of abuse. College campuses can be a breeding ground for toxic and unhealthy relationships, and Moravian is no exception. In 2024, campus police logged 2 incidents of fondling and an incident of stalking by an ex-boyfriend with a restraining order being issued. In January 2025, there were 2 incidents of harassment reported, and both perpetrators were non-students. One student in this case was called 45 times, and the other student received harassing messages on Tinder. The suspects were threatened with a warning to cease contact with the students. The CAPS office will rerun the campaign in the fall semester of 2025 during the month of October and will continue holding the event twice per academic year. Moravian recently received a $40,000 grant from It's On Us PA. This statewide initiative, supported by Governor Josh Shapiro's administration, is all about preventing sexual assault on college campuses. The funding will support a range of initiatives focused on education, prevention, and survivor support. Key campus groups, including the Gender Equity Club, Counseling and Psychological Services, and Peers in Wellness, are using the funds to organize events and expand resources. One of the highlights is Take Back the Night, happening April 22nd, aimed at raising awareness and stopping interpersonal violence. Immediately after, the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes rally will invite men to literally walk in women's shoes, with high heels provided, to show support for survivors. Moravian will also host the Clothesline Pin Project and Denim Day. These initiatives create space for survivors to share their stories and raise awareness about the impact of sexual violence. Plus, CAPS therapists will receive advanced trauma training, and a new awareness video featuring Moravian athletes is in the works. Vice President of the Gender Equity Club, Maisie, says that the grant has helped them turn their ideas into action. While the grant lasts just 1 year, Moravian plans to apply again to continue their vital work. Moravian's campus has been patiently watching the hub rise before its eyes. The building is set to fully open after fall break on October 7th, 2025. Mark Reed, Vice President of Finance and Administration, explained that before opening, there are 2 milestones that the construction must reach. The first milestone is called Sustainably Complete, meaning that the City of Bethlehem has issued a certificate of occupation for the building. At this stage, the building is complete to a point that it can be considered occupiable. The second milestone is called Final Completion, which is the very end of a construction project. It is the point in construction where both major and minor details are considered finished according to the contract that was signed. Currently, the hub renovations exceed the overall budget by roughly 1%, or roughly $500,000. And as of the week of February 22nd, construction crews were working to install interior and exterior framing, set up door frames, work on mechanical and electrical systems, secure structural elements, and begin insulation and stair installation. In the following week, crews will continue working on all of these tasks, as well as installing drywall and ceilings and painting the elevator machine room. Dr. Sarah McClelland, an assistant professor in Moravian's biology department, just received a $500,000 grant from the National Science Foundation. Dr. McClelland and her students are tackling one of the biggest environmental concerns of our time, microplastics. With support from the NSF's Building Research Capacity of New Faculty in Biology program, her team is investigating how these tiny plastic particles affect animal development, specifically in tadpoles. Why tadpoles? Because their transformation from larvae to frogs is similar to human development in utero. This $500,000 grant not only funds vital research, but also creates opportunities for Moravian undergraduates to participate in hands-on science. Dr. McClelland students are getting real lab experience, presenting at national conventions and conferences, and networking with scientists across the world. She hopes this work will lead to a better understanding of how microplastics impact living creatures and inspire future scientists right here at Moravian. In early 2025, President Trump issued a series of controversial executive orders targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, programs at schools and universities. His administration warned that institutions maintaining these programs could lose federal funding. At the same time, Elon Musk, as chair of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE for short, dispatched software engineers to the Department of Education, bypassing traditional auditors, sparking legal and ethical debates in Congress. Why does this matter to Moravian? Well, federal funding plays a vital role in supporting student scholarships, undergraduate research, and key programs, particularly in the biology and math departments. While Moravian hasn't lost funding yet, there's growing concern over what the future holds. Robert Breckenridge, Executive Director for Foundation and Government Relations at Moravian, shared that they're focused on compliance with federal law and advocating for the university's positive outcomes, but the uncertainty remains. For now, Moravian continues to prioritize its students, ensuring access to valuable research opportunities and scholarships. But as political pressures increase, the road ahead is unclear. To read further about any of these stories, visit Comenian.org and be sure to follow our Instagram @the Comenian. Thanks for listening.